What's good, everybody? It's your boy Anonymous, the author, aka Anonymous Rap Guy, and I am back with another Anonymous Author episode. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, man. It's just me checking in per usual. I don't really have a quote today. I was just really gonna do some stream of thought ideas, some stream of thought, some things that's been on my mind, man. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Talib Kweli, he's a super old school hip hop artist out of New York, I believe, Queens, I want to say, but I know New York in general. And he was talking about before he got kicked off Twitter. He was very, I don't want to say trollish, but kind of trollish on Twitter about how he would like just go hard. I don't know if it was really him or his fan base. I don't want to really paint him in the picture, but just really go hard on just really going at people on Twitter for like their views and opinions. Y'all know what I say. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's like opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and most of them stink. So, I mean, are you really going to attack every person with a stupid, idiotic view? But anyway, that's for a conversation for another day. Yeah, he kind of just he made a comment that said, anime has very um, Anglo-Saxon. They enhance Anglo-Saxon features. They make European features look attractive. They make most of the main characters adopt some of these features. And so I guess the question that I have I'm going to relay to y'all is: does being a fan of anime make me racist? Does and even really a broader question than that is: does an art form with subliminal messaging make you inherently a bad person? I mean, I guess that's the overall general question. Like when people were listening to Elvis and they didn't realize that he had stolen a lot of his sound from black artists at the time, Southern artists at the time, that he had brought that over to a main pop icon, pop culture, and didn't give any of those artists any credit. Does that make the people who listen to Elvis's music inherently bad? My personal opinion would be no. It doesn't make them inherently bad. It makes the person who created it and went out of their way to not give any reference or shine to the original, like that makes it exclusive. If you make something that you've stolen exclusive, it does make you a bad person. Maybe not the people consuming it, but in Elvis's case, it's like, I mean, it was during a time period when, African Americans really weren't, I mean, seen as much. I mean, we were free, but we weren't. It wasn't like, we was meeting with the president, or we were, we had the best of. I mean, we still don't have the best education. We still get, last in some medical. But I mean, we won't even talk about that. We'll on to something else. I'm trying to be positive. But it's just like when you don't give credit, or you don't give a shout out, or you don't reach back to these cultures, to these ideas, to these concepts that really gave you a kicking off point, or have helped you in your own personal life, and you just continue to be greedy and suck it up and to make it exclusive, that's when it makes you a bad person. So, I mean, I think anime to me has opened me up to some fantastic storylines and just great artwork. It's made me fall in love with Japanese culture, as well as Chinese and Korean culture as well. They also have some very interesting animes that give you super interesting points of view on life and points of view on thinking that are completely different from a Western point of view. They have very family centric ideas. They have very, you know, they and I don't want to speak bad, but they have a very in certain Asian cultures, they look up, they have no problem looking towards their government for assurance, or looking towards their government for positivity, for feeling like part of a bigger community. Community is very big in the Asian culture, whereas America's more individualized, individualistic. It's very you can do what you want to do as long as you take responsibility for it. America's very responsibility in the aspect of self. Like, you are responsible for getting yourself in college, and you're responsible for making a good income. As in Asian cultures, at least from what I see, it's very centered around family. Like, you take care of your mother and your father and your grandmother and your grandfather. As long as they're here, they live with you. You are responsible for how you make your family look. It's just a very interesting, like, oh, okay, it's just a different concept. Not saying one's better, not saying one's worse. It's just like, oh, this is it's interesting to see life from other perspectives and other angles. It, coming up where I came up from. Even some of the movies that I see now from Americans are just completely different perspectives that I've never seen, and it's like it's so much more world out there that I never can and would be able to get if I just stayed into my own little small, world and just stayed wrapped up in what I'm wrapped up into. So, I definitely think that as long as you give some, I mean, back to my original point, does watching anime make you racist? No, it doesn't make you racist, but the people that creating it, if they have a hidden agenda, it can definitely influence your thinking if you're too naive to see it. So some of these things can definitely be influential into people coming up. Like if you've heard nothing but Elvis all the time, you're like, oh, Elvis is the greatest, and then they show you like some Bobby Womack, well, not Bobby Womack, he was hella recent, I'm sorry, some Muddy Waters or something like that from back then, that were less known, that were actually originators in the jazz sound, that definitely came out with their own unique sound, and they hear that and they're like, oh, this reminds me of Elvis. And you're like, of course it reminds you of Elvis. Elvis, stole the makings of this sound. So of course it sounds familiar. And they're like, oh, well, I don't really see, Elvis is still the greatest. It's like, oh, you don't get it. You don't understand that your thinking and your ideas have been twisted and shaped by this thing. Like they say it's easier to lie to a person. It's easier to trick a person than it is to try to convince someone that they've been tricked or lied to. So that just goes to show me, like, you can show someone anything and make it and as long as they make a connection with it emotionally, or they're making a connection with it, through their heartstrings, or it evokes a strong sort of emotion from them, and they have a very certain memory that is the cause of this. Like, that's why we fall in love with actors in their portrayals, why we fall in love with musicians and their songs. It's just all types of entertainment are really just you evoking a strong emotion. If you see a beautiful dance recital, it's just like it's evoking a strong emotion in you. And if you can relate that to a memory or a thought process, it's like, oh, I've got you. Like I've got complete control of your thinking in that situation. Not saying they're gonna control your whole life, but it's like, this is what you think now because I've made you believe that. And that's why I think a lot of this new age racism just holds over, is just because people don't realize how deep racism is, and they don't realize how strong and powerful that it has been over the years. It's just like, oh, if you're not punching somebody in the face because they're black or they're white or they're brown, it's like, hey, you're not racist. It's like, no, it works on many different levels. But because it hasn't been beaten over your head, like, it's racist to beat up somebody and pull them out the car just because they were speeding. It's like, well, they were breaking the law. It's like, oh, you don't get it. You don't understand. You've been so brainwashed thinking that the cops are always right. It's like, you don't realize that they abuse power. Now, some people are starting to see that, but if you get this strong, like I said, this strong sense related to cops, like they're patriots, they do so much for the community. It's like you can never doubt them because you have they're evoking such a strong emotion from you. It's like they can't see past it. Same thing with Trump. It was like when he got voted in, and I know people have been hating that I go back to this, but he evoked such a strong sense of patriotism from a lot of the people that they can't even correctly criticize him because he evokes such a strong emotion. And even from the people from the other side, they're like, they can't see anything good in him because he evokes such a strong, passionate emotion of hate and anger. It's like you can never find a middle ground. So that's really just what I think, man. And watching anime don't make you racist. I know I got all the way over there I got all the way on Trump in there for anime, but I'm a big fan of anime, man. I'm a big fan of superheroes in general. I've been working on my own little book, trying to get me something written about working on my own little superhero, man. Trying to get something that sounds original. I want to keep the idea as original as possible, but it's just hard because Marvel and DC have covered a lot of the bases for like origins and superheroes, man. I mean, if I'm just keeping it a stack with you, it's very hard. Like, I guess that's why some people say you just need to lock yourself in a box and just create. so you don't have the opportunity to come across other art. But man, I'm a fan of Marvel and DC, so I've come across certain stories and I'm like, ooh, that would fit nice. It's my own little personal story. And I'm like, dang, I wish I didn't read it because I could have had deniability to be like, yeah, man, I never read it before. But now I feel like I'm just going out of my way to try to be original. And I don't know if that's the proper way to do it. So I'm just gonna write. I'm gonna write it how I originally thought, and I'm gonna have some people reread it for me and just try to help me with putting an extra flair or spin on it that I haven't really thought or come around to, because I really think it's a good idea that needs to be told, but it's just that same old, same old. Like it's just like the storyline I think is going to be good, but just the origin of everything I think is one of those things where it's just one of those stories that's been told before. So it's like I can't say, hey, he was a king. It's like, that's Black Panther, or he was just a regular god who got some powers. It's like, man, that's Luke Cage. Like, I can't really say that I came from scratch with anything. It's like he's in a big city trying to make a difference. Miles Morales. It's like no matter where you go, you're always gonna have definitely always gonna have those like, oh, are you sure this is original? This reminds me a lot of blah 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 blah. So you just really have to tell some things that are original to my own perspective that I hope nobody's copy and pasted already. But yeah, I'm just trying to be busy in 2021, man. It's been 2020 was a fun year. Thanks to you guys, I did get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube this year, so that was awesome. Still growing, still trying to do more. This will be posted on YouTube, obviously, and on my other little platforms, but really just trying to get it in, man. 2020 was definitely a growing, learning year for me. I hope it was for y'all. I know that during the pandemic, we've all been locked in and we've all been shut down, but y'all know what I've been preaching the whole time. And that's really diversifying your bonds, like Wu-Tang said. Diversify your bonds, my man. Like you got to get into other things because it's working from. Y'all saw how quick the job market changed. They adapted quick to this corona. They said, hey, y'all can work from home. Yeah, we ain't playing with this. Y'all not putting the stress on, because it really came down to dollars and cents. They were stressing. I think they were stressed. The jobs were stressed that they were going to start stressing their their healthcare insurance. Places where you work full time at, they have to insure you for health insurance, and health insurance is based off how much you actually use. They hope the workforce is healthy, but if everyone's sick, one, you're not coming to work, and two, you're costing them a pretty penny. And deductibles, well, not deductibles, but coverage rates. So a lot of these places were just like, yo, we cool on all that, bro. Y'all can go ahead and work from home. So we just got to adapt during this time period, man. We just got to definitely adapt. And speaking of adapting, I love my own one of my favorite superheroes, man. I know I keep getting back to the superhero thing. Is X-Men is one of my favorite like in general cartoons and series and like storylines, just because I love the way that they do it, how they mirror like the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X conversation with Professor X and Magneto. Like it's just dope as hell to see that play out. Just from my thing is I can get into any story as long as you dress it up as a superhero story or origin story. Like Joker was a really good movie to me. Well, one, I don't want to really say Joker was a good super villain movie because it was just an in general good movie. I'm trying to think of, did he have any power? I don't even remember any displays of like superpowers in that movie. It was really just a crazy dude on a very deep slide, and it was one of the better movies that I remember seeing, man. As long as you dress up a storyline in some kind of superhero reference, I am all in. I'll pull up for it, man. I'll show up there. I'll be well, maybe not now with the movie theater, but I'll show up to the movie theater opening night like, yo, show me what this craziness is about. But I think that's probably my biggest problem, and it's definitely held me back in relationships, is when someone wants to watch something that's a drama and you're like, I can't. These are just two people trying to live their life, man. Ain't no stakes, man. Ain't no world ending, like the end of the world is not happening. There's no invasion from another planet. Is that what you're telling me? Nobody's going through a mutation whose life and death situation. This is just about a chick who wants to date a dude, or a dude who wants to date a chick, and I'm supposed to sit here for an hour and 45 minutes. I think not. I don't think that's gonna happen. But a lot of the women that I've dated over the years love those kind of romantic sob stories. It's like, man, I need a laser beam to just like give me something out of somewhere, man. Just give somebody, let somebody have some kind of flight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be my super ex girlfriend. I was like, I pulled up for that. I was like, she got superpowers and she an ex girlfriend. Oh, bro, I watched it. I don't know if y'all watched that movie, man. I'm not gonna act like it had one of the one of the bigger budgets, but if you have a chance, Google my super ex girlfriend. Not the greatest movie, but definitely one of those movies that I liked more because she had powers. Like it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, yeah. I just pull up. I'll pull up sci-fi, fantasy, and superheroes. Man, I will pull the hell up for it. Rick and Morty, one of my I won't say one of my favorite shows, but definitely a new show that I like. Started watching it because it was like, it's ridiculous, it's based in science, and it's a comedy. I was like, it's hitting all the markers for me, man. They time traveling? Oh, I mean, not time traveling. They jumping through different dimensions and portals, and I'm there for it, dude. Say no more. I'm there. I'm ready and I'm willing, man. But yeah, I just go on these little tangents, y'all. I don't know what y'all be expecting from me. Y'all know I never really hit on anything too deep. I'm just here to really talk jibber jabber and keep y'all ease, keep y'all chilling, keep everybody happy, man. Cause, whew, I don't know if y'all heard, but Travis Scott made $10 million off of that McDonald's endorsement, man. And I don't know about y'all. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But I've been eating McDonald's for years. For whole entire decades, really. Yeah, now that I'm here now, decades, man, of eating McDonald's. And I ain't never seen $1 given back to me. I've been giving some decent coupons, but I've never made money from McDonald's, which got me thinking, man. I gotta take this hustle to another level. Like, this man got paid $10 million for putting bacon and barbecue sauce with a meal, bruh. Like, that's all it was. It wasn't nothing special. It wasn't nothing crazy. They had the same quarter pounder, except they added bacon and they added barbecue sauce to go with the fries. I was like, $10 million for that, B? Yo, I need to get hip. I think they sold some merchandise on the website and all this other stuff, but it was nothing really that he had to do personally. He did a couple commercials, and a little bit of endorsement, but they racked up this man 10 big tickets, bruh. That's a big ticket. And yeah, man, I gotta take this to the next level because I've always been like this. The people that see like these big old basketball contracts, like Anthony Davis just signed $195 million for 5 years, and LeBron did 2 years for $85 million. It's like, that's nice money. But I've seen people online being like, oh, these basketball, they get paid way too much money for something that's just a game. There are people that are starving out here, and there are people that, aren't getting enough money. It's like, hold up, man. Hold up, bruh. I don't know if you realize this, but the entire salary for the players is 50%. Well, now, I mean, I won't say that, but let's just for sake of argument, it's 50% of what the team has. And that other half goes to the owners. Like, just think about that for a second. All players on the roster get that 50%, and the staff and all that. The other 50% as a whole goes to the owners. Now, yes, the owners do have to, do certain things like run, invest in certain avenues with the business. Yes, it's true. But the players have to do the same thing. They got to invest in their bodies. They got to make sure they eat right. They spend money on themselves to keep their own interests going. And that's the same thing that the owners are doing. So to me, people need to look at these owners like, yeah, LeBron made $195 million, but the owners made a lot more. I'm blanking on her name right now. Not Rob Pelinka because he's a GM. The Buss family, Jeannie Buss. Y'all know that she's making out more than LeBron is, right? Right, and plus, and besides that fact in general, that the owners are just destroying how much the players are making. Let's just go to the flip side of that and just say, this is America. Capitalism runs this country, does it not? I mean, like a lot of people criticize this are on the right. There are a lot of right wingers being like they make too much money. It's like y'all always argue that capitalism is the way of America. Where do you think this money comes from? Do you think that they taking this from taxes? Do y'all really think that this is coming from taxes? No, this is coming because people are paying for it. Now, whether that be TV deals, whether that be the shoes, whether that be, ticket sales, whether that be in-person appearances, whether that be merchandise, whatever it is, people are willing to pay that much to pay these players. So if you got a problem with them making their money, then what you're saying is you got a problem with American capitalism. And, I mean, right already criticizing socialism, so now you're saying it's a problem with capitalism? Will you ever be happy, fam? Like, let them make their money. My thing is, I just need a piece of it, bro. Like, I can't get the 10 million from McDonald's for putting the bacon on the sandwich, but hey, bro, y'all can put I don't want to give my ideas out here because, bacon is apparently a $10 million idea. Bacon and barbecue sauce is a $10 million idea, people. Like, what's going on? I can't be dropping no game about what I would do because if I say ad, somebody else might come up with that and they made their $10 million and I'm still here broke. So I'm going to keep this under wraps. But all I'm saying is it's a lot simpler than they would have you believe to get out here and make this money, man. These basketball players, they start at 18 coming in making big money after, honing in on their craft and making sure they the best at what they do, or at least trying to be the best at what they do, eliminating the flaws and the errors from their game. And that's where I'm at right now. I got to eliminate the flaws and the errors from my game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to keep pushing this music stuff. I got to keep releasing. I got to keep staying engaged. I got to keep making sure y'all know what's going on with the kid because the marathon continues. Rest in peace to the boy Nipsey. So when I see them contracts, them big old contracts coming out, or Travis Scott making his $10 million going through, or anybody making their money or making their moves or making endorsements or partnerships or coming together or releasing something new like some Yeezys or doing their own ventures, like my thing is, damn, I need to get out there and get me a piece, make sure I'm putting out my effort, make sure I'm getting me a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? It's too much money out here in America to be made if you're not making it. I mean, it's a simple idea, but it's not that complicated. Like, it's hard. It's not hard to make money, but once you realize how to make money, you can always make money. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with day trading, but if you know how to day trade and you have a decent amount of money, you can work for yourself forever, perpetually. As long as you know how to risk manage. I don't want to get too much into it. Y'all know I got a financial background, but day trading, perfectly legal if you do it in certain ways online with certain traders. I did it before with a company. I'm definitely not trying to say this out and drop it, but it's a way to make money on top of your money without actually having to go to a 9-to-5 job. It's like, yo, I got this money. Let me invest it. Let me flip this. Let me get this back. And let me make it myself in a way that I clock in for myself, work 8 hours a day, and I come away with money that I made for myself. So if you really hate working in general for somebody for a 9-to-5, that's a way for you to get out. Research day trading. Research Oanda, OANDA. Research how to get in and get out of a market, how to risk manage, how to make sure you're doing everything the legal way so that when you do make money, you ain't got to worry about Uncle Sam on your ass telling you that you owe him some money. Pay your taxes. That's another thing about these big contracts is you got to realize 50% is going to Uncle Sam. Travis made 10 million, but 5 of that is going to Uncle Sam. I don't care what's going on. Uncle Sam getting his cut. Shout out to Travis Scott, but Uncle Sam always gets his in the end. Whether that's you physically working or you going locked up behind bars doing forced labor. Slave labor, some people might say when you locked up and they got you doing certain things. But whatever you want to say it is, it's like, I want my piece. I want what I feel like I can get out here in the marketplace and earn. I want to get out here and get my own hustle on so I'm not seen as like somebody that can't hustle, really. But that's a conversation for another day, man. Yeah, I only got I got about 25 minutes in. We got about 5 minutes left. Y'all know I do these 30-minute check-ins. How y'all doing out there, man? I hope everything's good on y'all side. I made on a side note, I made cauliflower chicken the other day. I'm sorry, meatless, boneless. I'm sorry, boneless, chickenless cauliflower chicken bites. I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Cut up the head of cauliflower, breaded it twice, beer battered it. Matter of fact, breaded it, uh, threw it in there, man. Got it cooking nice and crunchy. Took it out, double fried that bad boy, let it sit out and get good, man. That was real good. I made my own little sauce with it. Y'all know they call me Sauce King. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's some real chefs out there. I ain't even trying to be that cocky. But I think I'm pretty good with the sauce game. But I made my own little, it was like an Asian style sauce. It was like soy sauce and sriracha and a little bit of ginger and garlic and, just a little lemon juice and some sugar. And it was just, a little bit of stuff thrown in there just to whip it up, make a nice little sauce for it. Had a little green onions chopped up on it and mixed in with it. And I was dunking in there, man. Oh my God. I see it like my thing with eating in general, and especially with healthy eating, is I just need a good sauce to go over top it, man. Like I'll eat healthy if I can get a good sauce. Like if you got me eating, I'll eat spaghetti. The zucchini. Yeah, no, I can't think of it. Like the zucchetti. Like when they make spaghetti out of zucchini and they make it like that, or they try to use other substitutes for wheat, spaghetti squash and things like that to try to get it eaten healthy. And I'm like, dude, I can taste there's a difference, but I can totally ignore that if I got a bomb sauce with it, bruh. Like if you can make a good tomato sauce, a good marinara to go over top that, man, hey, I'm all for it. You ain't got to add no meat. If you season it just right, I'm a fan of garlic. If you can cook some garlic just right in a good bomb dish, man, I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. Garlic and ginger are the basis of good cooking for me. I can eat if you have one or the other in your dish, like garlic, herb, anything. It's just I don't care who you are. It's delicious. You know what I'm saying? Like anything. I was gonna say anything cooked in butter is delicious, but I mean everybody knows that. That's nothing. But garlic butter, oh, I don't know if you guys go to hibachi restaurants, but when they make them vegetables and they cook them in that garlic butter, listen, I can die right there. You can just put me on the table, my soul will ascend to higher planes. Like you say, hey man, we come with a side of garlic butter. I'm like, I'm gonna need it. I don't know what it's going. I don't know how if it's gonna do something to my stomach, but garlic butter is the kryptonite, man. I don't know what it is about that garlic. They season it just right. Garlic butter really easy to make. It's just garlic, butter, obviously garlic and butter, a little bit of salt. If it's unsalted butter, just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of parsley, and maybe some Parmesan if that tickles your fancy. And man, it is some good eating. It really is. Y'all got me one garlic butter, man. I totally blame. I blame y'all. Even though there's nobody here right now, I'm definitely recording. But I don't care. I blame y'all. Whoever's listening to this right now, I blame you for my struggles. It's all on you, man. But I appreciate y'all for checking in with your boy. Skipped over Thanksgiving just because it was a crazy day for me. Y'all know I be chilling with Mom Dukes and the fam, so I didn't really have a chance to drop an episode. I appreciate y'all for putting up with my mess and my craziness. I appreciate y'all for putting up with my silliness and my gooberishness throughout these times. And I really didn't have a quote, but something just came to my mind that I just want to leave y'all with before we check out. I recently did something on YouTube where they were talking about Louis C.K. Well, Louis C.K. did the interview on Conan, and he was talking about how people sometimes struggle with being alone. It's just something about the technology that we have that whenever we get that alone feeling, whenever you're completely by yourself and things quiet down, it's natural to want to reach for a phone. It's natural to want to reach for some kind of external stimulation to get your mind going, to get yourself back engaged in something. But at the same time, we do need to be able to sit with ourselves, to sit with our own thoughts, our own ideas, and sit with our own conscience and be able to exist and be okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be engaged, but being by yourself and being alone and really knowing who you are, like being able to talk to yourself, internally, we don't want people talking out loud thinking you're crazy, but being able to internally have a dialogue with yourself, check in, know how you're doing mentally, make sure you're in a healthy mental space, I think is really important, especially in 2020, where people are really realizing how important mental health is. So I hope everybody out there is being able are having the capability to being able to be by themselves, to engage mentally with themselves, and be happy with who you are. If you aren't, man, talk to the appropriate people. Make sure you're checking in with somebody because mental health is real, man. Physical and mental health. That's all we got, guys. Spiritual and financial health are definitely important as well. But if you're not right mentally and you're not right physically, you don't care about the other stuff. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all talking to somebody. Make sure you got somebody to check in with. Make sure you're venting in the right appropriate ways that are healthiest for you and healthiest for you, your psyche. So, all right, y'all, I'm gonna check out of here. I appreciate y'all for stopping in, man. I will be back next week. It'll be back to weekly. I just took the week off for, y'all know, for Thanksgiving, but I will still be posting during the week of Christmas and the week during New Year's. It was just that, Thanksgiving fell perfectly on the Thursday. So, all right, man, y'all be safe out there. I will catch y'all later. Thanks for checking in. Be dope. I'm out. Let go.